the song I'm going to sing, which is Victory in Jesus. My undergraduate degree is in music therapy. I was a clarinet major. And I practiced music therapy for about 10 years in psychiatric hospitals. And I'm going to date myself. Back in 1983, I did my music therapy internship at Southwestern State Hospital in Thomasville, Georgia, which is about as far south in Georgia as you can get. And I wanted to work everywhere. They had open wards. There were no individual rooms. They just had these open wards with beds in them. And 3 times a week, I would go down to the geropsychiatric unit, and all those folks, there were only 10 of them, but they all had severe dementia, and they could tell you every single word of the 23rd Psalm, but they couldn't remember their name. It was the most amazing thing. So anyway, a couple times a week, I would do a chapel service there. Well, connected to the geropsychiatric unit was the infirmary. And one day after I was finishing up my little chapel service, the nurse from the infirmary came in and she said, "Could you possibly work with Margaret? Margaret has catatonia schizophrenia," which most, if you don't know what that means, kind of the symptom you see with that is she would just lay in bed and stare. She wouldn't respond to anything. She wouldn't move any parts of her body. She'd just stare. And she said, Margaret also has cancer that has metastasized, and that's why she's in the infirmary. And basically, she was just laying there waiting to die. And so she said she's on no medications whatsoever. None for her mental illness, none. She had bad arthritis, none for any medical problem she had. She said, but the doctor has written an order for Tylenol for pain if she asks for it. I'm like, ask for it? She's not going to ask for it. She said, if you can get her just to shake her head yes when I ask her if she'd like something for pain, I will get it to her. And I said, well, why me? Anyone could do this. Why me? She said, she used to be the pianist at the Primitive Baptist Church here in Thomasville. And she said, when you do your chapel, she can't see you, but she can hear you. And she turns her head, she looks at the door, and then when you finish, she turns her head back up and stares at the ceiling. So I said, sure, I'll try it. You know, I came every day to see her between 1 and 1:30, and I'd talk to her, and she wouldn't talk back. And I'd sing, I was pulling out every kind of old, hymn I knew, and I was using the guitar at the time with voice. And she would sometimes move her lips. I assumed she was singing with me. I couldn't hear her. And the nurse came to me one week, and she said, her family always comes to see her after church. So I asked them on Sunday what was her favorite hymn. And she said they said it was Victory in Jesus. She said, can you sing Victory in Jesus with her? And now I'm born, bred, disciple of Christ, Christian church. I've never sung that song in my life. Never seen it. I had sung in the choir. I had 3 hymn books with me. There wasn't any of them. But in all 23-year-old confidence, I looked at her and I said, sure, I can do that. And so I just happened to buy a guitar hymnal before I came to my internship. So I, in desperation, looked in there, and there it was. So I worked on it, and I worked on it. So here comes to see Margaret again, and I'm so excited. So I play it and sing it for her. Remember, this is an open ward. And she looks at me with some disgust. And in the most thunderous voice that filled that ward, she said, that was awful. I looked at her, and part of me, the musician in me, was horribly, horribly hurt. The budding therapist in me was about to jump for joy. She had spoken to me. And so I looked at her and I said, I'm so sorry, Margaret. I know it was bad. I said, but I don't know this song. Can you teach it to me? So a woman with catatonia schizophrenia taught me how to sing Victory in Jesus. And I always dedicate this song to Margaret. I'm sure she probably found her victory in Jesus not long after I left my internship. So let's do it.